Is on the influence of attractiveness and diversity on perceived group performance ratings. And essentially, the theory behind this is that there's something called the physical attractiveness heuristic. And essentially, it's shown that more attractive individuals are perceived or assumed to have personality traits that are more desirable when compared to unattractive individuals. And the diversity aspect here is concerning group diversity, and there's a lot of mixed literature here, or mixed findings within the diversity literature. So a lot of times there will be a positive relationship shown between team diversity and any kind of creativity or any other kind of group performance. But again, as I said, the literature is mixed. So a lot of times there is also negative effects shown here as well. So I kind of wanted to take these two and put them together for the first time. So my participants, it was a 2x2 between subjects factorial design here. So the two being attractiveness, attractive, and diverse, and diversity, diverse or homogeneous. And so my participants were randomly assigned to one of four conditions: the attractive homogeneous group, the attractive diverse group, the unattractive homogeneous group, and the unattractive diverse group. So essentially, if you can see here, this kind of session that went on, the only thing that changed that my participants saw were these photos or profile photos, avatars, if you will. And this session that they saw is actually from a previous group study that my social psychology research lab ran, and participants in a group were asked to generate as many ideas as they could for a new sport. So essentially, of the four conditions, the only thing that changed was these photos. So the entire, it's a lot longer than this. This is just an example, but the text that they saw all stayed the same. It just looked like they were in a chat room. So my participants went through, of course, did their informed consent. They were all from SONA, and the study was completely online, at least for part one. So they went through, they rated the performance of the group as a whole. They rated the creativity of the ideas, how cohesive the group was the group likable, cooperativeness, and they also rated the attractiveness and diversity of the group that they saw. They then went through, and again, everything stayed the same except for those profile photos. So they then went through and did an attention check in which they just had to recall one or two ideas from that session that they saw. Then they went through, of course, did their demographics, and then they took a attitudes toward diverse work group scale, which becomes important later on. They rated their own attractiveness. They rated the attractiveness of all of the images in the study, regardless of whether they saw them or not. And then they were finally sent to a debriefing and thank you message. So kind of to determine if the manipulation worked, which it did, which is great, I ran a couple of t-tests and found that the attractiveness groups did differ significantly from the unattractiveness groups, and the diverse groups differ significantly from the homogeneous groups. So long story short, none of my hypotheses. So I thought that participants were going to rate the creative performance of the attractiveness groups as higher, the creative group or the diverse groups is higher, and that there would be an interaction between the two. None of those were significant, unfortunately, which at first was a little bit disheartening, but I did find stuff significance on that Nikui et al. Attitudes toward diverse work group scale. So essentially, I found that those with a positive attitude toward diverse groups perceived diverse groups as performing better overall. They perceived them as working well together, being more cohesive, and vice versa. So on the flip side, like those with lower or less positive attitudes toward diverse groups, they thought the homogeneous groups performed better. So a lot of different, applied value here with within industrial organizational psychology, but also it's just kind of a fun modern replication because a lot of the studies that I read were from the 70s. So this is kind of a new and novel approach to that. And I'm also just finished data. Hopefully that comes with some great results too. Thank you.